The bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be found off my big home.
It is movie night with JL Media. We're at Hamilton 16, Goodrich Quality Theaters. I have with me one Miss Renee Ellsbury.
Good evening, Johnny. How are you?
Darling, how are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm so excited you invited me to come out today and be here tonight.
And Renee is with?
I'm with BU Fitness.
Yes, you are. Tell us a little bit about BU before we announce or introduce our other guest.
We are on the southeast side of Indianapolis, right outside of Beech Grove, and we are an aerial fitness studio. We have pole, aerial silks. We also offer pound, yoga, deep stretch and conditioning, Paya, and Zumba. So we have a good variety of fitness classes.
The pole dancing classes.
Yes, sir. That is my specialty. That's what I teach and have been teaching for the last 4 years. And I love to empower women through movement and dance and give them an alternative way to express themselves.
That is perfect. We also have with us Miss Jen Ray.
Hey.
It's wonderful to finally meet you, dear.
You too. I'm so excited to be here. This is a great night.
Miss Jen, tell us about box crushers.
Oh, absolutely. Box Crushers is all about crushing boxes, bad mentalities that keep us bound up and that hinder us from being everything that we were created to be. So, you know, we've got a lot of stuff going on. We do a lot of coaching. We do a lot of different trainings and all kinds of programs that are going into the schools and prisons. So it's really, really rewarding work.
That is wonderful. You guys are both fans of The Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And how did that start?
Well,
now we're talking about the 1967 version, right?
Yes.
The animated version, right?
Yes. Well, when I was younger, my grandmother, every time a new Disney movie came out, she would take all of the grandkids to the movies at once, and it was a Saturday afternoon.
Uh-huh.
We all had like 3 or 4 big things of popcorn. We all got to have some soda, which was a huge deal, and we would go see a Disney movie. And it didn't matter what movie it was, we all went, and she's the one that took us. And so that was my first experience seeing The Jungle Book, and I loved it. I still love it today, and I love the meanings behind it. Now, as I watch it as an adult and share it with my kids, I think it's just a good, wholesome family movie with a lot of things that people need to pay attention to in our world today.
Right. What about Miss Jen?
Well, it was my grandmother too, but my grandmother brought us an audio book. So we had, little cassette tapes and then the books that we would read along with it.
Uh-huh.
So that was actually my first experience with The Jungle Book, and I can remember a lot of them. And honestly, I lost most of those books. But The Jungle Book, I had it until I was like 22.
That's great.
You actually had The Jungle Book.
Yes, it was
right.
fabulous, and I always loved it because I love animals so much. And I've always been fascinated with being able to be friends with the animals and being close to them. And even now, when I go, my husband will take me. Sometimes we'll go to the pet store or the zoo, and I'll just stand there and be like, oh, I wish I could just get in there with you and love you. So The Jungle Book has always been near and dear to my heart for those reasons.
That is beautiful. We have joining us real quick our friend Steven.
Hello.
How are you, brother?
I'm doing fine. Good to have you here again.
Again, yeah, it's good to see you, sir.
Yeah.
Tell me about you and The Jungle Book. You're a huge fan, right?
I do like The Jungle Book. I, of course, watched the Disney animated when I was younger.
Right.
I'm excited about the new one, for
Have
sure.
have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it
Okay,
yet,
so you
no.
can't give us any spoilers.
No.
We know pretty much how it's
would-
going to
I
go,
wouldn't-
right?
I mean, yeah, I imagine. it's a little, it's been around the block for a while.
You told us a little bit about Hamilton 16 IMAX last month when we were here. Let's talk about it a little bit more. What's going on here at the theater?
Okay, well, we're excited about, obviously, is The Jungle Book, which we're doing very well for, and we're excited for everybody to come out and see it here. And then we are also, we debuted last week, the flavored popcorn that we have. We have
Oh, we've
gourmet
had
popcorn.
some of that over
Yeah,
here.
did you like it?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Because we have the cheese popcorn, we have the caramel popcorn. and we're super excited about that, and we're selling that. That's a new product we have,
Uh-huh.
and that I have taste tested, and spoiler, that is good. So,
Well, we're going to dive into a little bit more of it over here. I think they've broken out the nachos and ordered some pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Okay.
going to be a good evening. Thank you for
that's
letting
what we
us
do.
invade once again, Stephen.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you much.
I tell you guys what, before we get started with the crowd here, because this is picking up big time. 1967 is when the animated version first came out. It's a year before I was born. I didn't realize that. You know, I watched it when I was a kid. I guess I never really paid attention to what year it came out.
Well, that just says how much it resonates still today.
I'm
If
trying to
they're
remember.
keep
yeah.
showing.
I'm trying to remember when the first time I saw it is. I know that I enjoyed it as a kid. When I enjoyed it even more was with my daughter on VHS tapes
Oh, yeah.
when she was a kid. She's 26 now, and we know every line in the whole movie. We would recite it to each other. And, you know, just even now in conversation, I mean, that was, my God, 15, 18 years ago. Even now in conversation, we'll just throw a couple lines of it out there. And she'd come right back with the next line, too.
Well, you know, when I was younger, I always wanted to be Baloo and like throw everything to the wind and just kind of follow my heart and just let, you know, nature take its course and whatever happens, happens. But now that I'm an adult, I'm so Bagheera. That is just me. I'm like worried about it. I want to protect everybody. I want to look out and tell everybody what they're doing wrong.
I think I've always been Mowgli because I
You're
just want to
Mowgli?
be close to everybody. I'm like, I want all the adventure, but at the same time, you know, I want to ride on Baloo's belly and sing the song.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I mean, goodness gracious.
I don't know. Since I pole dance, I also want to be King Louie and all of his monkeys, and I want to swing through the jungle.
That is what I was just looking at in the new version, 2016 version, the new one we're here to see tonight at Hamilton 16. King Louie is voiced by, do we know who?
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
No.
Christopher Walken.
Oh, that is amazing. That's a great voice.
This is going to be perfect with King
Absolutely.
Louie. I wonder how much singing they're actually going to do in this thing.
Well, I wondered that too. Are we going to hear Bare Necessities
Well, I
tonight?
hope not from Christopher.
Well, he'd be King Louie. So what does he sing? I want to be like
I wanna
you.
be like you. I don't know. Can Bill Murray sing, though? Bill Murray is Baloo.
Oh, well, Bill Murray
No,
can sing.
yeah.
We've heard him sing.
I think he'll do a great job with it.
That's going to be interesting altogether. Jon Favreau directed this piece. We know him from recently from Iron Man. This is definitely a jump for him.
Yeah, this is much more family-oriented, I would think. But it makes me wonder, since he has done the superhero movies, if he's going to bring out a dark side to our favorite
Well, with
Jungle Book.
some of the trailers I've seen, it looks more like an adult, well, maybe a late teen movie, not
Yeah,
really so much as a
absolutely.
kids movie anymore.
I think you're right about it. I think that they definitely are going to bring out some of the dark side of this. I think that things are going to be a lot more dramatic than what, of course, we remember, you know, from the animated version. So I'm
Well,
looking forward to it.
You know, I know we're all supposed to be afraid of Shere Khan, but Ka is who scared me. That snake was creepy with his hypnotic eyes. I'll be interested to see that. I have a fear of snakes, anyways. I'll be interested if I jump when he comes out of the trees this time.
And that's Scarlett Johansson, and I
is.
am thrilled about that.
As am I.
Man,
As am I.
that's going to be amazing.
Hamilton 16 IMAX is where we're doing this. Goodrich Quality Theaters, right here in beautiful Hamilton Town Center, the northeast side of Indianapolis. And the crowd is getting thicker and thicker. You have some excited faces out there. I can't tell where everyone's going. I'm assuming someone's here to see the Jungle Book. A lot of great movies here. What do you think of the theater? You guys are from, well, Jen, you're from Fishers, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Have you ever been here before?
Oh, yes. My husband and I frequent this area. We love Hamilton Town Center. We think that this theater is it's probably the best one that we've been to in Indy. It's just inviting and it's warm, even though it's really big.
Uh-huh.
You know, you still don't lose that feeling of just being able to come to the movies and enjoy kind of a family time. So being right here in Hamilton Town Center is just the perfect spot.
Well, I have to say I'm a Southsider, so coming up here for the first time, I loved it. Had good signage coming up. I knew where I was. I liked the fact that it was so open and airy when you first walk in the lobby, because some of them seem a little dark and dingy and
Right.
closed off, and so it was definitely a very inviting And I liked how quickly the concessions seem to be moving. I've seen a lot of families coming in, and I know personally with kids, you've got your hands full, you've got, your purse and your wallet and your kids and your popcorn, and they seem to be moving through quickly and keeping the lines going, and that is much appreciated as a family person who brings her whole family to the movies.
What else is coming out this year? I'm assuming you guys are both movie buffs, right?
A little bit.
Yeah,
Little bit.
I love the movies.
What else are you looking forward to?
Oh, I am looking forward to Captain America.
Oh my gosh, this place is going to be packed next month.
It
with
is.
Daddy.
It is. I'm looking forward to that and the X-Men. I'm really looking forward to the X-Men come Memorial Day, I think.
Yes. I think we may have to be up on the mezzanine next month with Captain America.
Oh, yeah, because it is going to be, it's probably just going to be completely packed out and crazy in here with that.
I don't know. I used to, when Harry Potter first came out, I would come to the movies on opening night in costume with all the other Potter people. And I've never seen movie theaters more packed than that.
Wow.
So I will definitely see Captain America and X-Men on opening night, but I'm hoping it's not quite as busy as Potterville.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the 1942 version, the original Jungle Book?
Was it animated, or is
No,
that a
ma'am.
black and white
No,
Rudyard Kipling?
It is actually a color version. Rudyard Kipling,
I
his
think
very first, 1942.
somewhere in the back of my memory, I feel like I have maybe seen a snippet or just seen a little part of it or something. I feel like somewhere in the back of my mind I know this, but, let's just say no since we're right here and talking about it.
Well, I know I've seen another Jungle Book, but I think they called it the Kipling Jungle Book or something like
Okay.
that. That was live action, and I'm thinking that was like maybe 10 or 15 years ago.
They redid, or they did a live remake. It wasn't very interesting. They tried to change it up again, and I don't have the year over here, with a female lead. And that didn't work out well either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't
But-
remember that one. But,
No.
there's something about Disney that just, when they put the Disney name on it, you know that they are going to have high quality. You know that they're going to have characters that you're going to fall in love with. You know that, if they did the first one, they're doing the live action, they're going to try to stay with a lot of the same emotion and feel, to not just bring back the original people who watched it, who are now, grandparents.
Right.
But then their parents, and then a whole new generation to continue the Disney franchise.
Absolutely.
The 2016 version, the one we're here to see tonight, the Jungle Book, I was told that it pretty much goes along the storyline of the animated version.
That's what I've heard as well. I mean, from what I've heard, of course, I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited about it. So, yeah,
Well, a few years ago, they remade Psycho with Vince Vaughn. You guys remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
That was pretty much word for word the exact same movie. They pretty much took the same script and said, okay, this is what we're doing. A lot of the lines that you were here tonight were in the 67 version.
Well, I don't think that's a bad thing.
I
'Cause
really do
think
not either.
nostalgia plays a big part in the movie experience. And think of how many lines that we remember from movies that we use in our everyday quotes and lives. So, I don't think that's a bad thing for the Jungle Book.
Well, it's going to be very interesting, to say the least. This thing is like 99.9% CGI. This kid they found to do the part of Mowgli, he was 10 years old when they first found him. I thought that, from the looks of him, I thought they found him in India or something like that, and he was trying to get into acting. This kid is from the Upper East Side of Manhattan. He comes from a family of dentists. There was a casting call that went out, and I think he was one of 2,000 hopefuls, and they saw his audition tape and just fell in love with him.
wow.
He was, out there playing tennis by himself. No rackets or anything, and just showing him what he could do against the green screen. He did a little baseball, too. And they just fell in love with him, and he had it from the start. Everything else around him is all CGI.
So there was no on location
No, ma'am.
anything.
No.
That's crazy. But that's movie making today.
Yeah, and I think he's done a great job from what, the previews I've seen and everything like that. I saw a little snippet of an interview with him, and he seemed so passionate about playing this part, and I think that passion really just shines through in the trailers that I've seen.
Right. I just can't wait. I keep watching the clock over here. Okay, we've been on 15 minutes now, and I want to go see the movie. Now, you guys are both married, happily married with families.
Yes.
Yet you're in here solo tonight. Where are the families?
Well, my husband's at home. He had another engagement to be at in about 45 minutes. He's going to go help some people move. So he was like, well, not this time.
Real life getting in the way once again.
Exactly.
My husband is taking my kids, all 3 of them, and their friends skating tonight.
Oh my goodness.
My hat's off to him.
Well, he loves skating, and he grew up, spending the weekends at the skating rink, and he's carried that on. My kids all own their own skates. Now my husband has put together skates for all of the friends that go skating on Friday nights with them, and so they're all ready to go. They were chowing down on some pizza when I left my house, and getting ready to head to the rink, and we'll all get home. I'll get to watch the movie alone, preview to make sure it's not too scary for my daughter, who's only 7, and make sure we're ready to go, and we'll go to the movies and enjoy it, and then when I get home, they'll want to know all about it, and they'll tell me all their stories about rolling around the rink.
Well, that is what Mandy's doing tonight. She's going to watch the movie with us just to make sure that she can bring Mason to see it at some point.
Yeah, I have to do that a lot with movies today, and especially when it's live action. I love animated movies, and when I take my kids to an animated movie, I don't really worry about whether or not it's going to be too dark or too scary because it's still animated. But when you get into this live action, realistic situations can be a little frightening for little kids, and so I feel like as a parent, it's kind of my responsibility to enjoy the movie myself and watch for dangers.
It can be scary for me, too, at 47.
Well, it's funny you said that, Johnny, because I took my kids to see the animated Zootopia a couple weeks ago, which is another Disney movie, and at one point in time, I jumped. I totally jumped in my seat, and my daughter jumped, and then she looked at me, and I both said, "It's okay, we did it together."
And that's another fine movie that's playing right here at Hamilton 16 IMAX tonight. The crowd is very interesting, isn't it? It's very diverse. There's no one age group here. There's no one race. I mean, it's just a multitude of people.
Yeah, and everybody's happy and smiling and having a good time and enjoying being together.
That's one thing I love about the Fishers area. It's like that all the time in every aspect. It's always very diverse. It's wonderful to see and just wonderful to be a part of.
But it is 2016, so we do have an on-duty officer in the room with us. And if you will watch all night long, he'll be there bored to death because we really don't need him, but we have him just in case something happens.
And that's a good thing.
Very good thing. Have you always been in Fishers, Miss Jen?
No, actually, I just moved to Indianapolis 4 years ago this past March. And so at first I lived in Indianapolis, and then my husband and I got married last year and moved to Fishers. So it's amazing. We love it here.
And have you always been a Southsider, Miss Renee?
Yes and no. I've also lived in North Carolina and New York for a little bit, and then I came back to Indianapolis, and I lived on the west side, and then I ended up back where I started on the south side of Indianapolis. I'm like 7 minutes from my parents' house. That house, my mom has lived there for 52 years.
Wow.
So I've gone full circle.
I miss so much being close to family. My family lives about 4 hours away, so it's hard sometimes. I miss it all the time. You're really lucky.
Well, we still do family things like going to the movies. We will all go to the movies. My sister and my niece go to the movies together and enjoy that experience, and a big group of us, and just like when we were kids and all the grandmother taking all the grandkids, we're still kind of doing that as a family.
Right. Now, as a movie buff, Jen, do you have a favorite one that you can name?
Ooh, just a favorite movie overall, you mean? Oh, my goodness. You know what? I have to say that I am that little girly girl, and my ultimate all-time favorite movie is Pretty Woman. I mean, I know, but Julia Roberts is classic, and I'll always love her. So
that's so funny, Jen. I actually quoted Pretty Woman yesterday. I took my oldest son shopping and it's the first time that he was doing adult shopping where he had to buy everything, but he had a lot to buy. And we walked out of the mall, and he had all of his hands, full of the shopping packages. And I looked at him and I said, "Do you feel like Pretty Woman coming out with Richard Gere's credit card?" He's like, "I've never seen that movie." I'm like, "We must correct that right away."
Oh, I love it. I love it. It is just a favorite. I love watching her and hearing her and her big smile. I love it.
I love Pretty Woman too. That's one of my. If it's on, I watch it.
Absolutely.
I used to be a huge Julia Roberts fan till she left my boy Kiefer at the altar. And yeah, I had to turn my back on her, guys. I did. Ran off with, was it Jason Patrick? Is that who she ran off with for a minute and a half? And
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but she's been settled down for quite some time now, and has twins and
So
making a life. You need to give her another
shot?
chance.
That's
Yeah,
right.
she's
That's right.
matured a little.
We have to forgive and forget.
Is there a favorite movie of yours, Renee?
I love old black and white movies, but I really love musicals. Musicals are like my all-time favorite, and so like My Fair Lady with Audrey Hepburn, and that is just, I could watch that movie and dance all night.
Oh, I love it.
All the time.
Yes.
I mean, I just love that. I love Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland, and I'm an old school musical. And if they're on, I mean, I'm like, I've got to watch them because they're my favorites.
Is there something you guys cannot watch?
I don't like horror movies, no kind of scary movies at all. I just can't do it. I have nightmares.
I am the same way.
Wow.
I hate horror films, and there's so many out.
Yeah.
It's
and
a huge genre, of course.
It's a huge genre, and I have a friend who absolutely loves them, and her son like bond over them, and to me, I have no desire to watch that at all.
That is the same thing with me and my daughter. I took her to the movies to see Scream when it first come out, when she was far too young to see Scream when it first came out,
Yeah, I
let alone with her father.
Yeah, I remember watching Scream.
I didn't watch it.
I watched Scream, and then I've seen like the original Poltergeist.
Oh.
And but I think the scariest movie I've ever seen was Arachnophobia.
I love Arachnophobia.
I wouldn't say that was scary.
It was for me.
Oh, I loved that movie. I do like scientific, kind of animal, scientific insect movies. So it fits.
I like sci-fi and, but I watch a wide variety. Like I love British period piece movies, which is totally crazy. I think I'm the only one in the movie theater for those. And I love superheroes. I'm a huge superhero fan. Yes. And every Disney movie out there, I usually watch, not just for me, but yeah, mostly for me, but for my children too. But I tell you what, as I get older, and especially because I have a son in the Air Force, I have a hard time watching war movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like war movies, I will watch them, but I have this sinking feeling in my gut to the point where I'm just like, I'm going to be sick.
Oh, my.
and so I can't watch them in the movie theater. So people who are making war movies are not making any money off of me.
It came out last month when we were here for the Batman vs. Superman premiere, that the superhero movies were the new Westerns. You really don't see Westerns anymore. You're seeing the superheroes.
That's true.
I believe that.
It's pretty much, I guess, the same lines.
Yeah, you have a
new updated version.
Yeah, you have a good guy and a bad guy, and there's going to be a shoot 'em up someplace.
Yes.
And if you're lucky, you'll have a antagonist. The
Yes.
semi-good guy that's really the bad guy.
That's true.
You'll have the, comedy relief.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I think that's a great thing.
Do you ever find yourself rooting for the bad guy?
Absolutely.
I don't, but my husband does.
Yes.
In Man of Steel, I know he absolutely loved General Zod. So, every now and then.
Hey, in Batman, I rooted for Heath Ledger as the Joker the entire time. He was such a great Joker. I enjoyed watching him better.
I think by far he was the best in my lifetime.
I agree.
Yes.
Well, but I even like the older. I love Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Nicholson was a good Joker too, but I think Heath Ledger,
But that was
outdoes him. It was a tip from Batman.
that was a different kind of movie, though. That wasn't as
Yes.
dark as they have become.
That's very true. That's
well, I mean,
very
it
true.
was Tim Burton dark, which is like a comical dark. It's not really as dark as we have gotten.
That's true.
Yes, we lost a lot. We lost Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I agree there.
Well, do we have a favorite character in the Jungle Book tonight? You cannot wait to see the CGI version of the animated character.
You know, for right now, I have to say I'm always going to be, I know this sounds probably just common, but I am always going to be a Mowgli fan, probably. But tonight,
Our hero, yeah.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see, though, because I can kind of see myself, you know, maybe really loving Shere Khan. You know, I'm not quite sure after this, but for now, I'm going to stick with Mowgli.
Yeah, I think that I love Baloo. I think at this point in my life, even though I'm not a Baloo person, I think that I would like to sometimes just be able to go with the flow and say everything's going to be okay because life's going to provide for us, and so I'm rooting to enjoy Baloo in this movie.
That's awesome.
I cannot wait to see Christopher Walken as King Louie. I got to know where he's going to go with it.
Well, you know, and King Louie, I mean, he's kind of manipulative and deceptive in the animated, so Christopher Walken's got that down pat.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but he's still funny in the animated.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't think he's going to be that funny in this one. I'm not sure. I'm really anxious to see if he's funny
Well,
or if there's
Christopher
you know.
Walken funny is still a little scary.
Yeah.
That's true.
Even in Joe Dirt, you had no idea where he was going to go next.
It's very true.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, it's kind of funny. In the animated version, King Louie is an orangutan, and he doesn't look that much bigger than all the monkeys around him. But in the trailers, they are making King Louie this giant, you know.
King Kong.
Yeah. And so, exactly, King Kong-like.
Yeah.
And so I was a little surprised at, you know, just how big he is, because when you go to the zoo, and, you know, we have a great, here at the Indianapolis Zoo, we have great
Absolutely.
orangutans. They aren't that much bigger than what a 10-year-old Mowgli would be.
Right.
So, but to see the CGI version, and he's like, his fists coming through the ruins, I'm thinking, whoa, what kind of, you know, mammoth monkey do we have?
Can you imagine seeing that in 3D? I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Just the
I'm
thought of it.
gonna have my. If you look over at me tonight and my hands are covering my eyes, you know it's because I'm waiting for something to jump at me.
Well, I'm wondering if Miss Mandy Curie, our marketing director with JL Media, would jump on the mic with us for a moment. Because she is missing out on all these questions.
She is, but, you know, I think she's enjoying this new nacho cheese and caramel corn popcorn.
You saw her doing that,
That
didn't you?
Hamilton 16 is offering here that's brand new, that they just launched. And I think Mandy's just
It's
chowing down
delicious.
on it.
That nacho cheese, handful by the handful, I'm telling you, it's delicious.
I think you got to mix them together. I think you get the fullest benefit and the yummiest crunch when you just mix them up.
Yeah, it was good, but I like the cheese ones a lot.
I think that Mandy might have a secret cheese obsession she's not sharing with us.
I really do. I have nacho cheese. I have pretzels with cheese. I've had the cheesy popcorn. I love cheese. Delicious.
Tell me about The Jungle Book. I know that you're a fan,
I'm a huge Disney fan in general.
just in general.
In general. I remember seeing The Jungle Book when I was little with my dad. And my dad was a huge Disney buff, so that was kind of our thing. We watched Disney movies every Friday or Saturday night when he was home. And, yeah, Jungle Book was definitely a go-to favorite for everybody.
What else was there?
The Little Mermaid was big on the list.
Same thing I did with my daughter. The Jungle Book, The Little Mermaid, and we knew every word.
Yep, Beauty and the Beast,
Oh, absolutely.
one of our favorites. Lots and lots of movies.
So Chuck would jump around the living room and sing Under the Sea with you?
Oh, yeah, he would. Don't let him fool you. Yes, he would. And he let us dress him up and whatever we wanted to do, he was all game.
That sounds like Chuck to me.
Mm-hmm.
What are you excited to see in The Jungle Book tonight? What are you looking forward to?
I am so excited about hearing all the original songs because I hear they're bringing all the songs back, and I'm excited to see how they're going to incorporate these CGI effects with real life. I was, doing research and reading about the kid that's playing Mowgli, and I'm so excited because he's never been in a movie before. He's 10 years old, and he's doing all of this in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Like, first movie he's ever done, and
That's
it's all
like-
in front of a green screen.
That's like an imaginary friend.
It is.
And you can just let your imagination go wild, and all those dreams that you had, just run with it.
Mm-hmm.
That might, I think that might be easier than being like, oh, there's a
In a
car.
real with a real person, yeah.
I still have an imaginary friend.
What's his name?
Well, he's mad at me right now. He's not speaking to me. But
Oh.
I still have one. Yeah.
Oh, is he hiding under the table? I
No, he
thought
did-
that was him, Johnny.
He did not want to come tonight. But that's all right. Mandy, you've been working the crowd as usual a little bit tonight. What are they excited about?
I have been working the crowd. We've got lots of people that are excited to tune in. I had a little boy just a few minutes ago, and he was so bummed because he was getting ready to go into the movie, and he's like, I can't listen. And I said, well, you can still go here and listen on your mom and dad's phone later. And he was very excited to tune in later. So, but yeah, we've had lots of people asking about what we're doing and excited that we're here. And we're passing out lots of really cool movie stickers. So if they come up here to Hamilton 16 IMAX and they stop by our table, we'll give them a movie sticker. And it's got all our information on it. It talks about what we're doing here. So they're very, very cool.
Movie stickers printed up by ASG Unlimited. We gotta give
Yeah,
them a
they
shout
do a
out.
great job. And our banner, they've done banners for us, and our shirts that we're wearing tonight, they do a great job.
Merritt and Scott over at ASG Unlimited. You need to check them out. They are the real deal in printing.
Yes, they are.
Hamilton 16 IMAX is where we're doing this. Goodrich Quality Theaters is the group. Right here in the middle of Hamilton Town Center. You spend a lot of time up here, Jen, as a Fisher's lady?
A moderate amount of time. I mean, we don't always come to the movies, but of course we're here in Hamilton a lot. I like to come and just walk around. Well, not lately. I'm, going to have a baby soon. So my walking around has been a little bit limited. But on a normal basis, we like to come up and just walk around when it's nice out and just get out here in the area and do a little shopping.
Just a little shopping?
I'm not a big shopper,
Not Pretty
actually.
Woman shopping like Renee
No,
took her
not
side.
at all.
You know what, Jen? I'm not a big shopper either, but I'm a big eater, and they have some delicious restaurants here at
Absolutely.
Hamilton Town Center. My very favorite restaurant is here. And
What
so
is
every
it?
time I'm here, Tucanos.
Oh my gosh,
My
we
very
just went
favorite.
there like 2 weeks ago. It's great.
My very favorite place
Oh,
to eat.
yes. It's amazing. We
I've
also
never
love
been
Stone
there.
Creek as well.
Now, Stone Creek up
Oh,
there.
yeah. We have a
Yeah.
Stone Creek not too far from us.
Yeah, Stone Creek is really good too. Tucanos is my all-time favorite, and every time I'm up here, I want to go. But it takes so long, and I want to sit there for like 3 hours and just stuff myself.
Yeah,
with
just
food.
you have to do that. You have to take your time
I'm
just
not
so that you can
ashamed.
keep eating so you don't get full too quick.
Well, Mandy, I would do an eating show with you because if there's anything that I know, it's eating.
Yes, me too. I love food. I love food.
I love food. I love trying new restaurants. I'm so picky.
And if it's something I know, it's movies and beer. And guess what we have at this theater, Renee?
Do we have beer?
We have a bar.
There's a
It is
beer.
right across the
Do they
lobby
have
from you.
PBR?
They do not have PBR. That's why we're not talking about it that much. I wish we could.
but they have beer.
The beer, the beer is open. The bar is open right here at Hamilton 16 IMAX.
Have you had a couple? I mean,
I can't answer that. I shouldn't answer that.
I think that's a nice feature, especially for adult date night. I think that having alcohol selections and adult, if you're going to have a date night, you want to be able to relax, have a beer, and even if you don't get to go out to dinner, if they having different food selections other than popcorn and candy is really nice. And I love that movie theaters are realizing that they need to make it an all-inclusive experience, especially for those of us like the three of us women who have families. To get out for 2 hours for a movie is hard enough.
Absolutely.
And lining up a babysitter and everything. So I appreciate places like Hamilton 16 IMAX who understand that they need to have those other things there so that we can enjoy that time.
A beer.
A beer.
A beer. A single beer,
Just one.
preferably. I was
2 or 3.
I recently was invited to a place that served alcohol was the main thing there, but it was a movie theater as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not fun. We would go in to see the movie, and A couple of ladies beside us had Ubered there, so they were already well into their evening.
They were having fun.
They were-
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, it was not an enjoyable evening.
No.
Not at all.
You know what's really nice about this bar here?
That's what I
is-
get for going to somewhere else in the Hamilton Southeast.
Well, what's really nice is you can actually pull up a stool at the bar here, and they also have several sitting areas with full couches
Yes.
and really relaxing chairs everywhere. So
Do
you can
they
just
have
chill
movie glow-in-the-dark drinks? Because I think that you need movie glow-in-the-dark drinks if you're going to drink a drink in
Thank
the
you.
movie.
A drink.
out a drink with their delicious nacho cheese and caramel
I was
popcorn.
thinking about
I
this.
totally think that they could take their nacho cheese and caramel popcorn and they could pair it with a beer
Yes.
and
Oh,
match
I'm
it up
sure
for
that'd
you.
be
And they should
delicious.
have the right pairings with their alcoholic beverages with their nacho cheese and caramel popcorn.
And we should
Great
host
idea.
pairing parties up here, shouldn't we? I
we
think that's
could
what
Yeah.
totally have a food pairing party while we're on movie night, and we could
Indeed.
taste
We
test
could.
and talk about our great movie experiences with our, food and drink selections here at Hamilton 16 IMAX.
Well, I think this is great. Me being the guy that I am, I look up and I see nachos, the best movies in town, and I see a bar. This is a perfect date night here.
I agree.
I agree.
How can you be more romantic, right? Well, I couldn't
Remind
be.
me not to go on a date with
See,
you.
I could not be much
You
more
wouldn't
romantic.
go see a scary movie, so she has to jump into your arms.
Right.
Oh.
That makes it perfect. As long as your fingers aren't cheesy.
I was actually given a pretty much bag of chocolate by her sister again today.
Yes, you
And
were.
me being the intelligent gentleman I am, I put it in the console of my car and forgot about it.
And let it melt.
Melted.
I think I have chocolate soup in those. I can't open it.
I have some in my front seat too. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to go well when I take it
Don't
home.
open the bag, go home,
Put it in
and
the
put it in
freezer.
the freezer so it can harden, and then you'll be able to pull the packaging off.
There is
Yes.
no need now because Hamilton 16 IMAX, look at all these goodies they have in the concession stand.
They have delicious
see
food
some
up
Okay,
there.
so
Swedish.
what's
They're
your
calling
favorite?
my name.
Yeah. Ooh, Swedish fish. Do you
Oh my
love
gosh,
Swedish fish?
I love them. And
Okay,
I
so
see them.
I like to buy a bag of popcorn or a tub of popcorn, and I ask them to fill it only 3/4 of the way full. And then I get a box of Reese Pieces, and I dump it in the popcorn, and then I shake it and mix it up. So I get sweet and salty while I'm eating my
Oh
popcorn
my
in the
goodness.
dark.
That's yummy.
So delicious.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. Well, you can look at me and tell when I get popcorn, I put about a half a gallon of butter on it. I mean, it needs to be dripping when I'm eating it.
See, I don't like butter on my popcorn.
I like
I'm
butter.
weird.
I'm a butter girl.
I like everything. Caramel, cheese.
I especially
just
like
what
cheese.
they have.
The cheese is
I
delicious.
love it all.
I like the caramel. I'm actually thinking, the caramel popcorn, I might not need to buy the candy. If I mix the
Yeah,
caramel
because it's
popcorn
sweet.
in with the regular popcorn, because it's
Absolutely.
sweet, I might not need to buy the candy.
Yes.
Mandy,
But
did
I
you talk
probably
to the
will.
concessions manager and find out how they put this together, this popcorn?
No, I haven't. They were actually training because this is a brand new product that they're selling here. They were telling me that most of their staff doesn't even know how to make this yet. So they actually taste tested this a week ago, and they gave out free popcorn to anybody that was here so that way they could try it. And they kind of took some polls, and that's where they came up with the caramel and the nacho cheese. And they were training people to make it. So, yeah, I definitely need to go find out the scoop on how this is made, and so we
do.
can talk
We
about
do.
it. That would be
I
awesome.
did not even think to ask our friend Steven about that at the time.
Yeah.
I was watching you eat it, though. I know you quite enjoy
Oh,
it.
it
so I
was
figured-
delicious. We all know Mandy likes food.
And we were talking earlier before we got started about their hot dogs, because Jen had a great hot dog here, and I
Yes.
love movie hot dogs. I think the all beef hot dogs are really great.
And my hot dog was indeed really great.
Oh, you did
So
have the hot
good.
dog, didn't you? Yeah.
Well, let
See
me
if-
go find out the scoop on this popcorn while you guys are still chatting it away. And I'm interested to know now. I want to know how this is made.
And she's off. That's what she does, guys. She is the backbone behind JL Media today. Jen, tell me a little bit more about Box Crushers. Is this your organization?
Well, Box Crushers was actually started by a childhood friend of mine. We were friends since like 3rd grade, and we always noticed that our passions kind of we're the same. And so, as we got older, we just started talking about things and really stayed connected. And so when she came up with the program, she asked me, Jen, can you take it over? Can you run this for me and just run with it? I love to be out in the public. I love to talk to people, and she hates it. She loves to stay at home and write programs and things like that. So it was just the perfect matchup, and so that's what we did. I run it out in the front, and she runs things in the back. So It's great.
Well, who is she? You never mentioned her name.
Oh, it's my dear friend, Elena Rarig.
Elena.
And actually she's from Delphus, Ohio, so a very small town in Ohio, about 10 minutes from where I'm from, actually, which is Lima, Ohio. So, the program, we've transitioned it here. This is a really great place for it. We've actually taken the program, and right now we're running our 5D transformation system, which is that signature program. We're running that in a couple schools as well as some prisons and other organizations. So it's really great.
Very interesting. That was quick. Mandy.
I just grabbed him. I just roped him up and just drug him over here.
She was doing that new Western superhero thing. She's your superhero tonight.
We had so much to talk about, Stephen. We completely spaced the new popcorn.
Sure.
How is it made? I mean, do you do it here or?
Yeah, we make the popcorn here. We pop it ourselves here.
And you coat it and everything. Is it like a special system or?
Yeah, it's.
Is this trade secrets we can't give away to the general public?
Yeah, well, it is. We do make it here. We pop it here. It's air popped, and then we cover it in caramel. We cook up the caramel and cover it up, and then.
How long does this process take for caramel, let's just say? It has to be longer than the cheese.
Yeah, it is longer than the cheese. Yeah, the cheese, I don't know. It takes us about a half hour to put a big batch put together. That'd be about, 6 tubs worth of popcorn.
Wow.
Caramel gets to be about an hour, half hour, depending on if it's all heated up already.
Wow.
That's why it's so yummy. It takes lots of time.
You do like it?
Mm-hmm. It's delicious. I like to mix them together.
That's Chicago style.
Yeah, that Chicago blend. I love it.
Yeah.
So who came up with this idea for here? Who brought it in? You can take credit if you like. Go ahead.
Well, we're well, that came from above us. I think they were trying it out. We get a lot of things that get tried out here at the Hamilton. We're kind of one of our flagship theaters of the company.
That's why we're here.
We tried out the mozzarella sticks. We tried out the chicken tenders. We're kind of a guinea pig theory.
Okay.
Theater. And we're going to be cooking it up, too, for the Brownsburg and Lebanon theaters, too. So we're going to be the manufacturing plant for all the Goodrich theaters in the area.
As the flagship, we'll call it, theater.
I'll call it that, sure.
Was there something that really didn't work? Was there something that crashed and burned?
Something that crashed and burned. Well, that's a difficult question to be asked, I would say.
I know you guys are used to winning here. You're extremely successful. We can see that just by the crowds every night. But
yeah, I'm trying to think of something that we did that was just an awful failure that I'd be willing to tell you about.
And it doesn't even matter because none of those awful failures are here because everything here is delicious.
Well, I was looking for a horror story somewhere because I know Jen does not like horror movies.
Well,
I've been involved in some horror stories, but most of them were just mistakes. We used to have film here, and I accidentally tore Transformers in half one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was an oops. That was an oops. Yeah, we had 10 seconds of complete darkness in that theater because I ripped it in half on accident. Luckily, though, we don't have film anymore, so that was good. That's the worst thing I've ever been involved in this theater.
Well, since you mentioned that you don't have film anymore, tell me how the digital works. How does it come in?
Well, there's 2 different ways.
Okay.
It either comes via the satellite or it comes on a hard drive. And then we have a library management system, and everything gets shot out to all the different theaters.
Right.
It's kind of interesting to see how it's been since I got here when we started with digital, because we were all digital to begin with, except for IMAX. We've been digital for 8 years now.
So you do a lot with satellite systems. So at some point, it's just like streaming movies.
We've done that before.
Wow.
Yeah. When we did the first one we ever did was Kung Fu Panda. We did a premiere of that. And it was live streaming. It was a little interesting getting everything set up. It was a week beforehand of running cables and setting up equipment and a little bit of stress, but whenever it came down to it, the day it worked fine.
I grew up in a very small town in South Georgia, and when I was younger, I was at the movie theater every week.
Sure.
So I got to know the managers and everybody, and several times I made it into projection booth.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine how they have changed now with digital.
It is. I mean, it's a little less messy, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't have your film reels all over the place. You don't have your platters.
And that strange film smell.
I know, doesn't it? Yeah.
That
yeah.
was something.
So
Oh, that
we
was fun.
still have our sign up there that says safety film only, which makes me laugh because that's been from the 70s, you know. But it was interesting. We had film when I started, and you don't get anything on film anymore in just 8 years.
That
It's
is
been
very interesting and too cool. Now, we're going to be extremely busy for Captain America Civil War next month.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
We're still going to need you for a few minutes to come over here and talk with us. I want to find out more about behind the scenes Stephen and Hamilton 16.
Sure. Okay.
Thanks, brother, for coming back over here.
Been a pleasure.
Did you guys ever be in a projection booth in a movie theater?
Never.
I have at the Art Craft in Franklin.
That is a beautiful theater, isn't it?
Yeah, I love going to their. I'm so glad that the Historical Society down there in Franklin has restored, at least kept it up to date and showing movies and letting us watch some old classics like my favorite, The Musical's there.
Uh-huh.
But we did a tour when I was in, grade school of the Art Craft Theater, and that was super, super cool. But you were talking about film. I remember going to the movies, and I can't remember what movie we watched because the only thing I remember is that watching the film snap on the screen and then fire.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And we had to exit the movie theater, and they gave us all passes. And then another time I went to the movies, we had a tornado drill, and everybody had to leave the theater and come into the hallways, and we all got down in like those grade school, put your hands over your head type things.
And that's what a lot of people don't know, that old film was extremely flammable. Extremely. The Art Craft Theater, I've been down there a couple of times now. It's a wonderful old place. And they just put on a big production up into the movie.
Absolutely. It's a good, wholesome environment, lots of memories.
Oh, absolutely. And great
good history.
family films as well.
Absolutely.
What saddened me, I guess, and it's my own fault, being a sound guy, is when the movie actually started, and I'm used to Dolby sound and the big speakers, and you just don't have that. It's an older theater.
No, you don't have that, and so you kind of lose the experience. But, I still think, there's a lot to be said about the old experiences. Sometimes it's good to bring out that type of environment, that type of movie, and take it old school and just go back in time for a few minutes. But at the same time, I love fast forwarding and the CGI. And we're sitting here, and I'm kind of looking towards Johnny, and I'm seeing the trailer for the Jungle Book over here in the D-Box experience, and I'm seeing that, and I'm like, I'm getting excited. I'm like, I can't wait to watch it.
We are at the countdown now. We are very close to seeing this thing, and I'm as excited as you are, darling. Believe me. Now, BU Fitness.
Yes.
You've been with them since the start. With Rayleigh?
Yes, since the start. Rayleigh Richards is the owner of BU Fitness, and she opened her doors November 1st, and I was there for our getting of the keys ceremony and toast, and I've been there at least twice a week, sometimes 4 or 5 times a week, every week since, and we're getting, establishing ourselves down there in the community and building our customer base and loving what we're doing and loving the experience and getting to be with all these wonderful people every week.
Well, I know that you were going to make some changes, but I know you from another business as well. You want to give them a shout out?
Sure. I have managed Selective Seconds consignment in Greenwood for the last 9 years. And I absolutely love resale. I love everything about secondhand shopping. And so I love working there. I like the selections and the prices and the staff. They're really good people. And I'm not just saying that because, I work there. Because I'm leaving there to pursue a different career. And I can honestly say that I will still shop there because I love, and every staff member that we've ever had that's left us continues to shop there because they enjoy it so much. And that says a lot about the business that Vina Holden runs in Greenwood, Selective Seconds Consignment. And I have been so excited because while I was with her, I used to help her put on shopping tours. And she encouraged me to start my own shopping tour business. And so I did my first shopping tour on my own last weekend, and it was very successful. And so I've already booked 5 more in the next couple of years. So I'm excited about that little venture on my own, too.
A shopping tour.
Yes.
Humming the Pretty Music theme song? Is that what you're doing? Pretty Woman?
Pretty Woman
Pretty
theme
music.
song, yeah. Kind of, I love resale shopping, whether it's thrift stores and donation shops or consignment stores or even wholesale secondhand stores. I love a good bargain. I think any person does, male or female. And I think, for those of us that are budget-minded, which are most of us, shopping secondhand is a great alternative. And so I am passionate about it. So if there's a new secondhand store that opens, chances are I'm checking them out. And so I'm putting together a list of my favorites who are consistent and have good quality things and decent prices. And I'm putting them on a tour. And then I talk to them about offering special discounts for the people who want to go on the tour with me. And then I take them shopping. And so it's like so last week I took 50 of my new best friends
Oh, wow.
to 5 different
50.
stores. And the stores roll out the red carpet for them because I'm kind of partnering up with them. And
You're
they've
bringing
got
50 people in at one time.
yeah,
they should.
they've got
yeah.
food and drinks, and they offered them discounts, and they got to shop and have a good time. And I just was their personal shopper for the whole day, and I had a blast. It's tiring, but everybody has a good experience, and so I loved it. And I'm not going to do it like every day, and I'm not going to, but I'm going to just kind of sit back and enjoy and do, 2 or 3 a year, and just kind of do that on the side. It keeps me in the resale business as I'm changing ventures, and it frees up, and it still gets me out there. And let me tell you what, it does not hurt my house or my wardrobe.
How do you move 50 people from store to store?
With a bus, with a charter bus. And
Is there a wine sponsored on the bus that?
well, there's not, but there should be, because they do brew buses and they do winery tour buses. I should so get on board and say, hey, who wants to be my sponsor with this? But I'm working with a company in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is crazy. But I'm working with a company in Fort Wayne who does traveling tours like all over the world.
Oh, wow.
And so they are chartering the bus, and they're getting the customers, and then I'm doing the route and working with all the shops, and then I hop on the bus with them and take them shopping.
I definitely need to get on one of these shopping tours. I think that this might be a way for me to shop and actually enjoy it because I'm with other people and, having a good time and just visiting different places.
Yeah, I will be happy to give you that information because it's so much fun, and it's 50 women, and you don't have to, you guys don't have to like each other, don't have to know each other, but by the end of the 5 stops, you're going to love each other because you're going to have so much fun.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I had no idea you were doing that.
Well, it was kind of a crazy thing. Like I said, I've done them with Selective Seconds, and Selective Seconds will continue to do them, and I will still help them with them going forward. Matter of fact, Selective Seconds has one next week that we're sold out on, and I've helped put that together too. But Vina is really big on encouraging people to do other ventures that promote the secondhand experience. And she said, Renee, you love this. You're so good at it. You need to do this. And so just by networking and communicating, which is great, I found another woman who does her own business in this travel company. And so not so that I wouldn't compete with my, current boss.
Sure.
I went to the Fort Wayne area and worked with her, and she loved the idea. And this trip that we just did together last weekend was so successful. She's like, I want to do 1 more next year and 3 the following year. And so we went ahead and booked those. And so I'm going to continue to, this is just kind of a side thing because I just love to shop.
That is one thing we have established this evening.
Yes, I love to shop. I love movies. And if you need to learn how to chair or pole dance, call me at BU Fitness.
Now, pole dance. Now, yes.
Do you want to learn how to?
Not right now. Maybe in a couple months. But
I tell you what, Jen, I started pole dancing for me. A lot of people have their own reasons, and I don't care what your reasons are because pole dancing is for every person, male,
Yes,
Johnny.
Yes, ma'am, I'm going to.
Or female, whichever you prefer. And it's a full body workout. But what I love about pole dancing is not just the dance aspect or the gymnastics tricks that we learn how to do, but I love the way it makes women feel about themselves.
Yeah, I'm sure it boosts their confidence through
Absolutely. It's a huge self-esteem booster.
Sure.
And, in society for women, we focus on, oh, isn't she pretty? Look how smart she is. She's just cute as a button. However, we don't talk about strength. When we see men, we talk about their masculinity, like Johnny over here, and we talk about, those types of things. But we don't talk about strong women.
Yes.
And but when a woman does something successful for herself physically, it is such a powerful thing, and it really empowers them and makes them feel good. And at BU, we're really emphasize the be you. If you want to be sexual and sensual with your dancing, we're going to help you get there. If you want to be a gymnast, we're going to help you get there. If you want to just do it to have a good time, that's what we're all about. And we want everyone to be able to express themselves and feel good about themselves at the end of the day. And I watch these women just bloom, absolutely bloom, and men. I love it when the men come in and they think, oh my gosh, this is so easy. I have no idea. And then they get on the pole or on the silks too, and they're just like, wow, I have such respect for what you're doing. I had no idea. And they love it too. They love how physically demanding it is on your body. And people will be like, they'll see pole kisses on me. I get little bruises and they're like, why would you want to do anything that bruises you up? And I'm like, but did you see the coolest thing I did? And so it's definitely, and I love like bachelorette parties and birthday parties and divorce parties and whatever to celebrate.
Divorce parties.
Divorce parties are hilarious. Johnny, you need to get on the divorce party bus because the divorce parties are so much fun. Those women just want to let loose and say, I'm ready to start my new life.
I never had mine, so I need to pick those up. Goodrich Quality Theaters is where we are. It's where we're doing this at Hamilton Town Center. Hamilton 16 IMAX. The Jungle Book is our premiere movie tonight. It's going to be interesting. We're going from animation to CGI, and I cannot wait. I hope they don't divert too much from the animated version.
So, Johnny, who's your favorite character?
I always liked Baloo.
Yeah?
I did. The big, lovable, laughable, always good time dude who I try to relate with. I guess I'm most like him by body size, but King Louie was just something cool about him.
Oh, yeah.
The party guy. So I want to see what Bill Murray and Christopher Walken had to offer me tonight.
Do you remember the vultures in the animated?
I do.
I loved the vultures. Did you like the vultures, Jen?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't remember the vultures in the
That
original.
was one of the things me and my daughter would always do. I look at her and say, so what do you want to do?
What you want to do?
She said, I don't know. What do you want to do?
I don't know.
Now, don't start that again.
Yeah, right. And I was just thinking about that. I'm like, but I did in the previews. I haven't seen the vultures.
I didn't either.
I hope they're there because that is that comedy relief, And I was thinking about that on the drive up here. I was like, I hope they have the vultures. I haven't seen any of the trailers, but that is such a memorable part of the animated movie.
I did see the wolves, and you have to have the wolves because that's where it starts. But the vultures, we have to have.
Oh, absolutely.
The buzzards.
The buzzards.
Yeah, I didn't see any of those in any of the trailers. I think I watched like 4 or 5 trailers, and I didn't see them at all.
Well, and I liked the fact with the new one that's coming out that we're going to see here later tonight, I liked seeing the wolf pack and it being a large wolf pack, whereas in the animated one, it doesn't look like there's
it looks like
that
there's
many.
Just a few.
But, I loved seeing the big pack for this new movie.
So I so liked in the trailer the scene where Shere Khan is chasing Mowgli and Mowgli jumps down off the cliff and he's like hanging on the horns. I thought that was the most amazing part of the trailer. That's really what stirred me up. I was like, oh, this is going to be so great.
Is there anything you don't want to see? Ooh. What would ruin it for you is what I'm asking.
I mean, I know Mowgli's not going to die or anything, but I mean, if that were to happen, that would totally just
See, I didn't even think about that. Thanks, Jen. Now I'm worried.
I mean, of course, it's not going to happen, but, that's the only thing I wouldn't want to see.
Yeah,
I don't want to see them change the end.
All right.
I don't want them to, go beyond Mowgli meeting the girl at the river. I don't want them to go into the village and focus away, because what I loved was the jungle.
Yes.
I like the jungle characters and the jungle animals, and I don't care what's going on in the village. We all have our own village. I want to know what's going on in the jungle.
Yeah.
Well, it was a musical, the animated version. So I'm wondering what's going to go on, because I saw absolutely nothing in the CGI version that had any music behind it other than the score.
Well, I did see, like, on one part, Baloo was whistling, and, in the background they had the bare necessities going on, but, and I do hear that they're going to do, the songs are going to be there, but of course, I highly doubt that we're going to see any of them performing.
Well, if I start singing when the songs are in the background, please just nudge me or something.
No, we're going to sing along.
Exactly.
It's going to become a sing-along, because I've been to the Disney sing-along movies at the theater. I think we're going to sing along. Mandy is going to sing Bare Necessities. Johnny is going to sing I'm Going to Be Like You with King Louie. and we're going to have a JL Media here at Hamilton 16 IMAX sing-along to the Jungle Book.
That sounds amazing.
Sounds good to me.
Johnny's favorite's karaoke, so.
He just took a deep breath there.
I don't know why she doesn't. I have no idea why she doesn't.
Because you love me.
That I do. Movie night with JL Media right here at Hamilton 16 IMAX. We're doing the Jungle Book tonight. Very excited about this, Mandy.
I am too. I'm
Very
so excited about it. I'm ready.
The crowd is bustling. They're excited. We're excited. Jen Ray, thank you for being here with us, darling.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is a great time. I'm excited. It's a fabulous atmosphere, and I love being here.
Well, thank you so much. Renee.
Johnny, thank you. I loved this. This was so much fun, and I loved seeing all these families come out for the movies, and it reminds me of, growing up and coming to the movies with my family, and now go to the movies with my kids. So I really appreciate you having me tonight.
Oh, we're just so glad you are here. Hug Ray Lee's neck for me and tell her, yes, I will be on the pole for that event.
I can't wait, and promise her that I will have a video recorder for it.
Yes, absolutely. This is going to be the best show when we get Johnny on the pole.
Yes.
Mandy, thank you for all you do for JL Media, darling. I would be lost without you.
Of course.
Goodrich Quality Theaters, thank you so much for having us here. It's JL Media. Movie night, Hamilton 16 IMAX. Until next month.
Until next month, we'll be back.
The bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be found of my big home.